Jade was just saying she's got an intense feeling of an individual. I asked every day. She said not necessarily every day, but not all the time. But it comes up, and it makes things worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean things worse?
It feels very strong irritation, and I'm overreacting to anything, even like the sound of somebody that it can feel annoyed. That's that it just it is less tolerant.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's 5 past 5 now. About 20 minutes ago, very recently, Amy and I were in bed. She was watching something, and we're chatting, and just having a rest day, the both of us. And I wanted to nap for a bit. And as I was napping, I literally felt just irritation just in the body. And at some point, because I felt like, oh, a hug would be nice, but I didn't say that. And in that instance, Amy did that to my head, like that. Sorry, like that. It was really nice, and I was like, oh, but okay, that's irritating too. I didn't. I'm trying to bring it up because I didn't say anything at all. I didn't say anything then, but I'm just saying it's sometimes it's the like Amy says today, my brain is in noodles, and it's annoying, but that's what it is. That's life. It can be like that.
It is just how you feel for the moment. Yeah. And I totally agree with you, but it's just not present to experience this. And I kind of feel like I am very clear about the idea of what these individual that most people into. I get very clear to what that is. It's to me, it's a sense of something that has the ability seeing thoughts arising and seeing thought going. That is the illusion. That is that's the feeling of something watching thought. It's the illusion, and that is the thing that when I get lost in thought, I don't have that feeling of something watching the thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm totally lost in thoughts, there's nothing.
You don't have that feeling.
Thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I'm not lost in thoughts, the sense of something watching thought, that is the illusion. Because that's not me. Because if that's me, then when I get lost in thought, then where am I? so that's how I figure out that's not me. But that is what the me is. That is sort of feels like it feels like observing, like observing this sort of movement. Yeah, so because I get this clear idea of what I'm not, and when I feel sick, I kind of resist to a sense because I think that's not me. And it's pretending to be me. Does it make sense to you?
When you talk of this illusion, you call it the illusion of me that's watching, what does that feel like?
It feels like it's something not thought that is watching thought.
Okay.
There's something that's watching thought.
I'm gonna, sorry if this is gonna sound a bit harsh.
Yeah.
But you've created as somebody that watches.
Yeah, totally. I don't know how I create it, but I
Magic.
yeah, totally. But somehow I understand that there's nothing watching whatsoever, anything. But there is feeling something is watching. Something I can feel is watching. Not only watching thought, but watching everything, and also describing everything is experiencing. Whatever's arising, there's something describing everything. And there's a reluctance to believe what is describing.
Everything you're describing, as I take it, is the illusion of the mind and the illusion created in the body, the experience. Because when you know, your mind doesn't question anymore.
Yeah,
literally,
and
your
also,
mind has no questions.
And also, like when you see as a thought, like that, just that idea. When you see as thought, you are not a thought. It is the idea. What is it seeing it as a thought? It is it is something watching thoughts. So it kind of
If I describe it to you,
yeah.
Right now, you're going to continue imagining it. Your mind will create it. And it's nothing wrong with that. If the mind is functioning as it's meant to, but it's not who you are. When you know, you know. It's not something the mind then goes on to question. It's not something that creates a noise within the mind. It's something is silenced, literally silenced in the instant.
Yeah.
And it's just seeing. There's no words that are sufficient enough for who you are, for who this awareness is, for what this awareness is. Words aren't sufficient.
No.
1,000 words aren't sufficient. And it certainly never creates a feeling of awareness. It just is. It doesn't create a sensation of watching.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you that the knowing you're referring to it's immediately. Like I pinched my arm immediately. It's no. It's got a pinch of the arm. And that immediacy of the knowing doesn't just immediately know. And this is the point where that is different to the immediacy of the knowing is different to the other type of knowing, like the description of what's happening. For example, the knowing of what's happening, that is a different knowing than the immediacy of knowing.
It sounds as though a very complex story is being written in the instant of what it is, and that there is a need for agreement. So when you know, you know. I could tell you you don't know, and it wouldn't matter. I could tell you you do know, that you have seen, and still it would be irrelevant. You just know. Some people like to talk about it, especially when the first recognitions happen, when the first moment of knowing happens. But what I hear being described sounds to me like a third person description of what they think it might be. So if you read a book, and this is what I imagine it to be, and this is then the story that I tell within the body and within the mind, and it creates almost an alternative person, because what's being described is the human experience, not you. What's being described is I'm watching. I'm watching the watcher. So it's almost like you've created this ultimate being that's watching, but it's not you.
That's why it's, I know that. That's why I feel irritation.
Okay. Do you feel irritation walking down the street?
Sometimes, almost.
Okay. How about making food?
When I drive, I kind of feel a lot better.
Okay. Irritation appears and it doesn't appear.
But it's just this resistance of like, it just feels like it's not me, but why do I keep believing it's me?
What I think, and this is just my opinion, what I think occurs is there's an irritation. There's an irritation in the body, and you're labeling it as someone watching the irritation. Because you've linked the word irritation a few times. So in your beginning commentary and right at the end. And so if there's irritation, now I'm watching the irritation. It's the creation of the watcher watching the irritation to then do something, to then create something else, to then allow control. But the mind can't be controlled. Simply put, the mind is like a puppy. You can train it to a certain degree, have habits, go for daily walks, you know how to make food, but the mind is like a puppy. It could be trained to a certain point, but when it's irritated, it will just bark. The puppy will bark. Freedom comes when you know you're not the bark. And it's the barking still occurs, but that is just the mind barking. You can't change the body function. Random example. My mum had a climbing accident when I was 11, so she would have been 51. She was 51 years old. She could never ever walk again. The doctors told her this. I have never seen somebody fight something like that in my entire life, and I doubt I will ever see it again. is she was determined to walk again, to the point she would strap weird things, braces on her legs, and she would throw her body with a Zimmer frame for hours practicing walking because she was so determined. If the mind had the power to do whatever it wanted, I guarantee my mum would have walked again, but it can't. The body unfortunately gets old and it gets uncomfortable. It's just a part of how the body functions. Take care of it, but it will still get irritated. We're taught, unfortunately, from a very young age, certain sensations in the body mean something. So if you then train the mind, train the puppy will automatically create an experience because it's been trained to do so. By reading this, this is a bit of an assumption on my part. If you read a lot of spiritual talkers that talk about duality, non-duality, the self, what will happen is you're training your mind that discomfort is awareness. And this is the awareness watching the discomfort. But actually all in fact is happening is your mind is watching that. You're aware of that, which increases the irritation, because that now, not only is there irritation, you're now frustrated, which again is something that's taught to the mind. The puppy is trained. The puppy is trained that there's irritation, there's awareness. Oh, now there's awareness. I know it's not me. Now I'm frustrated. So the experience is expanded. But still, that's not you.
No.
So you can look at it as this is a habit. Break free of the habit. Techniques will teach you how to do that. Another route is know yourself. Free yourself from the thoughts. By doing that, it's like dominoes. Knowing the self, the first domino goes. The mind knows itself. But the rest of the dominoes have to come after that for the mind to be liberated. You can treat the habit of the creating somebody, which will stop the frustration that's created. But what you're dealing with is only one side of suffering, which is the current pin that you're sat on. But other pins will come. And it's the difference between treating a habit individually or looking at suffering holistically. And it's purely up to you. There's no wrong or right choice in that at all. If it's really getting on your nerves, look at it, see the habit, and go, this is a habit. It's not me. It's a habit of thought. It's just the mind.
Just take a deep breath.
There's lots of techniques. CBT, repetition. Your mind is literally, it's like a puppy. It's trying to do the best.
I don't feel there is this feeling of openness. Even when it's frustrated, there still has this feeling somehow, somewhere, there's this openness and calm as well. That's why I could still go driving, even I feel frustrated. And the true of me is this openness. And this, I do feel it. It's nothing I can say about it. And the thing is, at the same time, there's frustration as well as this openness.
What are you looking for from this? What do you
I
want
don't
to
actually
change?
know what I'm looking for. Apart from that I am thoughts still it's a main thing that I get uh into it, like really struggle in the thought. Yeah. And the breaking of the habits is important. It takes time to break a habit. It's still the habits. Yeah.
It's true.
Mhm.
I agree.
So I don't really look for anything, and I don't even know. I really don't understand, but I I feel drawn to the two of me.
Sorry, Jade, I think I missed the last bit. You feel drawn to
To know what I am not like. I know this. I don't really get to know that, but I I'm drawn to just this, like just whatever. Yeah.
it sounds like, and this might be wrong, is at this point in time,
Yeah.
you're not ready to be done. And
No, I'm not
there's
ready. Okay.
yeah. And
I'm
it's
actually
not right or wrong.
very, yeah, I'm worried because I don't like seeking.
You know
I
what?
know there's nothing I seek that can ease that can be okay. I don't know. I just don't like seeking.
Then don't seek.
Yeah.
The mind likes to make things complicated. The more
Mm.
complicated it can make it, the more interesting it is. The mind
Yeah.
is inquisitive, literally. It's like a puppy
Yeah.
that hasn't been
Yeah.
trained.
And
It's running around
fear.
in circles.
I think it's fear that the system will have confidence. Yeah, that's why it doesn't like seeking. Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough. I I cannot do anything.
That's perfect, Jade. Just as that is you're being very authentic in what you say right now.
Yeah,
you don't know what you're looking for, but you want relief.
I'm not hiding. Hiding for what?
But what happens in the instant is, have you ever seen a dog chase its tail?
Yeah, I have. It's never down.
The mind is chasing its tail right now. And I'm certain everybody here probably feels the same. I know I've been there. You're going in a circle.
Yeah, and it feels frustrating.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it exactly feels like.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Let's not sugarcoat it. It sucks.
And to a point, it's not about stopping it. Maybe just enjoy chasing tail.
Just let the tail be chased. See where it takes you. I mean, it sounds silly, but sometimes you just need to sit back and watch, because it's the mind's recognition of the self that frees you. Read 1,000 books, listen to 1 million speakers. The one who frees you is you.
The unconscious me.
See, now you're talking about this somebody.
Oh, that is.
There's a lot of labels for me. And when you know, you know. And when you know, you also know it's very easy to acknowledge and sense people talking about it from a third person. Because once you've seen. There's a recognition that can't be talked about. You could describe it, but you're reading the book again.
Yeah. So me tracing thoughts is me.
Yes.
Me getting lost in thought is also me.
But it's your mind. It's your mind. It's chasing around in a circle.
But I'm not mind. And also there's no me as well. It's just myself doing it.
Yes. But it's your mind doing it. It's
go with myself. You say it's not me, it's not my mind, it's myself doing it. For you, there's a difference between me and myself. It's not the same. When Amy talks about me, she talks about what can't be talked about. What can only be known once and for all. Maybe this myself you're talking about is what she's talking about. You just haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen what you are talking.
So
could you
I'm going to repeat this. When you talk about me, you talk about the mind. Literally.
Yeah.
When Amy talks about me in that instance, she talks about, let's say, the self. Okay, she wasn't talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, but she wasn't talking about the same me as you were talking about, because the me you are talking about is the mind.
Yeah.
The thinking process, the thoughts, the ideas, the concepts. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. But at some point there, you said me, myself. And when you said that, there was a different ring to it. Now, I think this myself you're talking about is what Amy is talking about. You just haven't recognized it yet, but that's it. You, not the mind. You, not the mind. You.
I have a mind.
No, you don't have a mind. No.
You're always there. Me. The self. Use the word self. And you are always there. Your mind just doesn't know it. Literally, the mind hasn't seen. But you are always there.
Yeah. I'm always here. And there's no such thing, there's no me.
No such thing as no me. No, indeed, there isn't. There is
a me.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. There's no such thing as a me, you said, or there's no such thing as no me. What did you say?
I said there's such a thing. There's no me, like no body. There's no such a thing
As nobody.
Yeah, like
No,
no.
indeed, there isn't. That will be somebody. Yeah.
Oh, now we go. We're trailing. We're trailing off into radical non-duality land that I hate.
I think my confusion comes from the talk of nobody.
Yeah,
and it
but
got
that's
to me that
there is
there's no me.
nobody. There is no nobody.
Oh.
No, exactly.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, that's it. There is no nobody.
Yeah.
It isn't. Don't chase the tail. There is no. There isn't. That's why you can't find it.
Yeah, that's why I never find it. It's not possible.
No,
No.
it's not. It's the mind's trying to find something, but it's not the mind that finds it. It's just the self is revealed when the mind is silent, and that's frustrating because the mind can't find it. The mind can only imagine it.
Yes.
And that's pointless.
Pointless.
Yeah. It won't find it.
Just one thing, I had a question.
Yeah.
Is there a stuff or me, or is there just awareness? Very, very similar to the points that Jade is making. It's very easy when you listen to speakers, read books, to create this nobody. So the mind is literally creating a no one. So not only do you have your own identity living in your head, but you also have a nothing living in your head.
Sorry.
Which is frustrating. Case in point. The mind is trying to create a something. It always is, because then it can identify, it can analyze, it can be creative, it can try and do something. That's not what the self is. The self is revealed when the mind is silent, and when it's known, it's known. It's revealed through a reaction in the mind and the body. And the mind and the body is in response to, literally, oh, fuck, that's me. And at some point, the mind loses that drive to control, to do, to function, to change, to imagine something than what is right now. The mind accepts that it is simply that, the mind and the body. Because it's extremely tiring trying to create a someone all the time. It's even more, this is going to sound crazy, it's even more tiring to create a nobody, to create a no one. God, who the fuck is that? Literally, okay, is it a box of darkness? How about the sky with a couple of stars? What would a nobody look like? What would a nobody feel? Oof, I have no clue, because the name is nobody. And the identity that is created is easier to imagine. You've grown up with it your entire life. People tell me I'm this person, so I must be. I do a personality test, so I must be. Oh, do the personality test again. The personality's changed. It's not true. All that happens in the instant is right now. Right now. There's habits of behavior that everyone has. If you grow up never eating meat and someone feeds you meat, you don't enjoy the texture and experience. Why? Because you've never had a habit and a lifestyle of eating meat. It's just what you've been taught, what you've learned, the habits of your existence. But a habit is not you. It's just how you've been trained through your life. Some of those things, some of those trainings are positive. Some of those are negative. It's just the life that's been experienced up until this point. But none of those are you. Who you are is revealed. And when you recognize yourself, you can't escape looking at others and knowing yourself. When I look to others, I see simply a reflection of myself. And then all that is me, compassion is there. Look into the eyes of a puppy, a cow, yourself in the mirror, a partner, a friend. There's compassion. Now, it doesn't mean for 1 second that you have to like everybody or anything like that, but we are all the same. You might not like someone's habits. Personally, I don't like the smell of marijuana. And if someone is smoking a joint, it's off-putting for me because I don't like the smell. But it's just the habits they have. There's no reaction to the person because they have different habits to me, but I'm still looking at me. But the mind is a sneaky little thing. It loves to create a person. It loves to create drama. It loves to create internal wars that you have to experience something in the body. That happiness is the only experience you want in the body. That people have to behave a certain way. That you have to behave a certain way. The mind, in its attempt to be entertained, will make problems. Why? Because it hasn't got anything else to do. It's trying so hard to be or to do or create a somebody. In all of that effort, it will also just create problems with this imagined somebody, with this projected somebody, and this projected other person that you talk to. And oh, good grief, Jade, I feel for you. Creation of nobody, oof. I can't see that doing anything but creating frustration. So I completely understand. But the mind is a wonderful creation, especially once it's liberated. At the moment, awareness is focus so much in the mind that you believe the character you've created. You are your own character. You are Jade and nobody. And awareness is sat there.
What to do popcorn? Very interesting. The mind is a magnificent creation. It's amazing. But when it's in control of everything, it does not see the world as it is. It's always imagining the future or imagining the past. Or you're talking to somebody else and you're imagining the next thing they'll say. You're imagining a conversation as it goes. You're imagining how you want the conversation to be, how you want the relationship to be. And it's all happening in your mind, in the imagination. It's literally the mind is in control and the self. Just munching the popcorn. Because the mind is just the mind. It's on overdrive all the time. So much so, the self is not seen by the mind. The mind is trying to do the impossible. The mind's trying to do what it's been told to do. Be a good girl. Be perfect. Get great grades. Get a pay rise. Get the perfect house. Be the perfect daughter, daughter-in-law, partner, friend. The mind is trying so hard to do simply
The impossible. And it's exhausting itself all the time. It's an overdrive.
It's trying to solve a puzzle that cannot be solved.
When you start to talk, and some people are drawn to
Non-duality, Buddhism, religion, spirituality, the soul.
the mind, then tries to solve the ultimate puzzle. What's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of life?
And the mind doesn't have the answer.
The mind can only imagine what that answer is.
But you are not the mind. It's not who you are. It's not what you are. You can never die. The mind and the body dies. But you live for eternity. Because you are now. You are everything. We just literally, we're all the same. We're just literally born in different bodies with different minds. And the mind, the puppy, is trained in different ways. But if the puppy's running the show,
Imagine the chaos.
you don't have to imagine the chaos. It's life. It's life. Puppy running the show. It's life.
It's chaos.
Because the mind's trying to do the impossible.
The mind is imagining what it is to be free. And the mind can't free itself.
It's only when the mind
Sees you. And that's the journey of freedom.
doesn't mean that the mind is suddenly trying to be perfect. Or your idea of what perfect is. But the mind is now allowed to say, I don't have to be someone anymore.
You don't have to be a nobody.
The mind can just be.
Here.
right now.
Listening. Doesn't have to do anything.
It doesn't have to be anyone. It doesn't have to imagine someone while at the same time trying to control the heart beating, the intestines functioning, and at the same time applying to conversation. It doesn't have to do any of that. It can just simply be. But the first step is the mind silence, and the self is recognized, known, seen. You can't change that moment when it happens, that recognition. When you know, you know. Because it can't be put in a box. It can't be described. Any words you use is insufficient. At best, it's a child's drawing compared to Michelangelo. You can't compare. You can only imagine before you see. Until that moment happens, and it will happen, James. Until that moment happens, your mind at the moment has a habit of creating a nobody. You just have to remind yourself that you have a puppy, that your puppy is talking right now, and that's not who you are. Let the frustration be there. Let the irritation be there. And just try to observe. Don't try and do something with it. Can't throw it away anyway. As much as you might like to, being awake doesn't change the existence of irritation or frustration. Being awake only changes the mind's reaction to it. And that's freedom. So be there, watch it. Pursue things that bring joy. And watch and observe and liberate yourself. It's you who will free yourself. Making a joke even yesterday, one of Max's big revelations, one of his major wake-up moments on the path. I don't think you talk about this because I find it hilarious. He was listening to Moana, You're Welcome. Who would expect that? Who would expect to have a revelation listening to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson singing You're Welcome? Seriously. I don't even see the message in there.
I don't actually, I mean, I remember lying on the bed. I remember lying on the bed and I was quite quiet, just enjoying the song, and I think I was thinking, like, okay, so who you are, well, it was one of who you are. I don't know what anymore. It was one of who you are, and I don't remember. I actually don't remember. Just that at some point it was like, oh, oh yeah, okay, oh yeah, okay, and yeah, it was on the very lyrics, "You're welcome."
It makes no sense.
I don't actually remember the thoughts or what sort of happened, or I don't. But
what it is in waking up. The most ridiculous thing might set you off. The most ridiculous thing might suddenly allow silence in the mind and the self-esteem. You can't predict what it is. You could if you could. I'd love if I could, I'd bottle it and I'd secretly give it to everybody in the world.
Oh, can you hear me? Oh. Is that better?
Can anyone hear? Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Is that better? No.
you should be fine.
Max, yours is okay, but Amy's sometime maybe the battery or I don't know.
No, it's fine.
Or maybe if I hold it, is that better?
Might.
Is that okay?
Yes, no problem. Okay.
I'm shouting now, aren't I? You can't predict what will set you off. You can't predict that moment where the mind is silent. I mean, I remember on the path, Max and I would have ridiculous discussions about whether certain musicians were awake because their lyrics were so piercing in an instant. You can't predict what will set you off. Just follow your feet. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Be curious. Trust yourself. Follow what you're drawn to. Don't follow what you're trying to create. Does that help, Jade?
Yes, a lot of relief. It's a lot of relief. It's a lot easier not to follow the mind and not to follow what the mind is saying.
Keep following that. Keep following that.
Am I? Can I tell if I'm following my mind?
What do you think?
I don't know what the mind is saying. There's no thought coming up at this point.
That sounds like perfection to me.
Yeah. There's no thought coming up and just speaking.
Exactly.
And this is the not following the mind.
Mm-hmm.
I often does it. I don't always have thoughts helping me to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like driving. I don't have the help of thinking how to drive.
True. But that's also, that can be that the mind doesn't consciously do things. Is
subconscious habit.
We could debate subconscious. That would be a different discussion. The mind is trained. Everybody, when I make a cup of tea, I don't think about it. There's no conscious thinking. It's a habit.
Yeah.
When you talk of a sense of relief, that's because the mind is suddenly relaxed. But your mind needs to see it to know it. I can tell you, but then what will happen is an imagined experience will become present. And then the imagined experience will suddenly be called your nobody. And then frustration will appear again. Because there's a created nobody.
Yes. So I let Julian go. Julian's got a problem.
If that's okay with you, yeah. Junior?
Okay.
Hello again. No, I just wanted to share two things. I wrote the subject for today. Just it's strange because I start working in a place and nobody has no conscience about anything that they are so identified, and so it's really strange to me because I can't share anything, and even I don't have to mention anything about that, and I'm just overwhelmed, yeah,
Mhm.
by their shouting, crying. They are often so quickly. They put the music really high because they don't want it. It's incredible because what is revealed, it's they just want to hear what they are thinking in their mind. So they put the music really loud and shout blah blah blah, and just to cover what they are thinking. And so finally, for the moment, it's like almost too much for me because I'm just it's like if you're clean